Hey, so if you've ever been to my house, you know that I have problems because I am an independent music producer, sort of recording engineer person. And let me tell you, it's hard to get a good desk in Canada. When we were in our first apartment, we had just this one IKEA desk. Well, when we moved into our new basement suite, we got a much larger room. So we bought one of the really long IKEA desks and just put it next to the small IKEA desk, which has worked for some time. And, you know, it's supported the weight of all of the things here, but it's the same height as a keyboard stand. So the keyboard just, you know, the plugs don't get hidden. There's not a whole lot of space for things like this way coming towards the camera, and the cable management is completely non-existent. So I did what any God-fearing Canadian would do, and I ordered one from Germany. I would just love to show, because I ordered some stuff from Germany, but UPS delivered 3 packages today. Here's one right at my door. Very nice of them. Can't seem to see any trace of the second one though. It's very, oh, okay, there's number 2. It says 1, there's 2. Where's oh, there's number 3. Having brought this box into the house by myself, I do not blame the UPS man for leaving it at the side of the house. This thing weighs probably 100 pounds. It's 2 boxes in total, completely flat packed, and it managed to get here in 2 days via UPS Express, which is completely bonkers because if I had ordered it from Canada, it would have taken at least 14 business days to get to my house. I do not know how Germany does it, but they do it and they do it well. I also bought this Fun Generation RTA 31. It's just a little real-time analyzer that goes into a rack mount. And all told, the desk with this real-time analyzer and the rack mount extension, I suppose, the rack mount extension for my new audio interface, the Audient Evo in there, all told, it put me back about $11.50 Canadian. That was with shipping, express shipping, and then I paid $120 in import taxes and fees. So all told, I got the desk, the analyzer, and the rack ears for, what is that, $1,270? So yeah, since my wife is currently stuck in the snow that has completely debilitated Metro Vancouver, I'm going to take this whole setup apart by myself. I'm going to put the desk together, and we're going to see how much it changes the room. Well, since I'm not going to have Spotify open on my computer and my record player is going to have to move, I got this CD, Lab 33, Evidence. It's a friend of a friend, and it is such an old CD. There's a MySpace link on the back. I'm gonna pop this into my Sony PlayStation. All right, let's go. Before my camera rudely interrupted me was they do not include a hex wrench in this. So for these M6s, you do have to have a hex screwdriver. Okay, so far, thanks to UPS, there are 2 cosmetic imperfections on this desk, which in the grand scheme of things is not the end of the world. Like, don't get me wrong, it does suck. But, you know, I bought this desk for function, not for form. Oh, I found the hex wrench. It's in the bolts. I guess that makes sense. feel like there's like not much more to do here, but there's so many more parts. Oh, album's over. Here's one you've probably never seen. This is my friend Sean's band back in the day, Spooncutters. This was their debut, Hallo Hallo. It's lots of fun, indie, pop rock type thing. So far, it's a nice desk. And of course these are Phillips, because why would we just use one type of screw for the whole I can do the rack later, because I did promise my wife that I would do only enough to get things ready so that I could do November. So that's what we got right now. I'm going to continue this probably at a later date, show the wire management and all that stuff. Okay. It's a year later. This is my second time recording this because last time I recorded the entire video, 25 minutes of it, and I didn't realize I accidentally stopped the audio recording. So that was dumb of me. Hey, welcome to my desk video. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I'm not being paid to make this video by anybody. Legitimately, the only reason why I did this video is because I bought this desk and I thought it might be helpful for other people in Canada or the United States to know, hey, what's it like buying a desk from the EU and having it shipped to North America? And the answer is it's really easy. It's not that bad at all, honestly. This is a really well engineered desk. It was super easy to put together, save for like a couple of screws that didn't agree with me very much. But, you know, it was basically like putting together an IKEA desk, which if you have trouble putting together an IKEA desk, it's okay. You can get someone else to do it for you. And it's really quite sturdy, you know, like it doesn't vibrate very much. I've had the Roomba come in and like run into the legs a couple times, and like it's not like splitting at the seams or anything like that. Doing quite well. I've got my Arturia Keylab 88 Essential on the keyboard tray, and the keyboard tray hasn't sunk into the center, so that's good. One thing I did do that was wrong was I put the keyboard tray way too low. There's like 5 spots that you can screw the keyboard tray into on the thing, and I put it right at the bottom because I'm like, well, I want room on top of the keyboard. That was a bad idea because my chair does not go low enough, combined with my music producer thighs, to fit under the lowest height of the keyboard tray. So I should have thought of that. I should probably just raise it higher, but I am afraid that I might damage something if I do that. So I'm not going to do that yet. I'll probably do that later. Other stuff to talk about. I touched briefly on the Audient Evo 16 and the Fun Generation real-time analyzer. The Fun Generation real-time analyzer, like I said, it is just for fun. I would not use that for serious music analysis at all. It's too slow. It's not tall enough and it's not detailed enough. So it really is just like if you want a thing to go like boop, 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 boop while you're playing music and look cool, that's what it's for. And it does a really good job of that. So money well spent, I guess. But I could sub that out for other rack gear if I wanted to. The other thing was the Audient Evo 16, which I bought secondhand. And this is a great piece of kit, really. Like I've used a Behringer 1820, I've used a Focusrite 1820, and now I've used this. And it is a great little unit. I was using an Audient ID4 for a long time because I really like the preamps on it, and it's got like the same preamps in it. So the preamps on it are really clean. There's enough power in them for them to run my SM7B, as you can clearly see. So if you got an SM7B, you know how impressive that is. And I really like the smart gain thing that they got going on. You can just plug something into it and hit the button and like just and it'll automatically gain it up to a point where it's loud enough without clipping. And that's really cool and really useful. And I could see that being really useful for certain studio applications. The two complaints that I have about it are on the back, there's only light pipe for ADAT in and out that can be configured to be SPDIF as opposed to ADAT, but they're not the RCA SPDIF, which was a problem when I bought this M350 secondhand and pointing at it. When I bought this M350 secondhand, and I found out that one of the analog ins was not functioning properly. So I had to run it completely digital, but it's got RCA SPDIF on the back. So I had to get converters to turn the RCA SPDIF into light pipe SPDIF so I could work with the ADAT connectors. So that's the only complaint that I have. The Focusrite Scarlett 1820 actually has SPDIF connectors on the back. So I'm just saying that. If that's of use to you,
Now you know. The other complaint I have, and I don't know if this is just like my unit or the cable that I'm using, but if I accidentally touch the USB-C cable in the back, the whole thing just dies. Like it turns off. I don't know why it does that. It completely disconnects from the computer, which can be really annoying. So I try not to touch the cable in the back. Speaking of cables, cable management. It's fine. I'm not a cable management wizard, as some of you might know from my other videos. Honestly, I don't really care. I just wanted to get kind of the rat's nest off of the floor and out of the line of sight because we were using this as our main TV thing. And it's just like you look down, there's all those cables hanging there. It's kind of gross. So cable management, it's pretty easy. I do like that there's like a space behind the desk that I can like slide into and put my little head up and use a flashlight and things like that. That's super useful for me for doing the cable management stuff back there. So points for that. There's lots of room for rack mount gear. There's 9 units in total, 3 on each of the segments. I'm actually only using 2 of the rack mounts. I left the third one open and I've got some books. Got some books there that I'm never going to read, but they're there. And it's nice. It's nice having that little alcove. And when I think about rack mount gear, like I think about all the effects that I actually need to use. And it's stuff like, preamps, compressors, delays, and reverbs. Like that's basically it. So my first piece of outboard kit was FMR really nice compressor and FMR really nice leveling amplifier. And the names are accurate. These are really nice. The RNC is super clean. It's super punchy when it needs to be. It's a great little compressor, and the RNLA is just as nice. Like it's a great piece of kit. I'm really happy that I got those, and I got both of them for a steal. Like if you can buy one of these secondhand, buy it secondhand because they're great pieces of kit. The other thing I got, as previously mentioned, was a TC Electronic M350, and even though the one analog in was busted, just running this digitally, it's great. This is a great little effects unit. The delays on it are lots of fun. The reverbs on it are really, really good. Like even this came out in like what? I don't know when this came out, but yeah, the reverbs on it are great. The TC Classic Hall. There's a reason why everybody wants to get this thing in like pedals and things like that. Great little unit, lots of fun. And then I think about, okay, what else do I need? And it just stops there. Like I think most producers, they'll get like an LA2A, or they'll get an 1176, or they'll get a Pultec clones of all these things, not like the originals, right? And yeah, those are fun. They work really well. They look really nice. But I have a million plug-in versions of all 3 of those. I don't need an outboard LA2A. I especially don't need an outboard LA2A that has 1 input and 1 output and takes up 3 units of rack space. It's like there are better uses of my rack space that I could do. I kind of wanted to get the Funk Logic palindrometer because that's just a fun little thing. But my wife won't let me. So yeah, I have no plans of purchasing more outboard gear. I'm quite happy with what I've got. Maybe like a pedal or something, like a Big Sky. I could see myself buying a Big Sky and then running it as a piece of outboard kit. But maybe they'll make a rack mount Big Sky one day. I don't know. I would buy that. So as a Canadian, my experience with buying from Thomann has been across the board really great. Like all the times that I've ordered things from them, it's gotten here really quick. The import fees and taxes have not been too absurd. Like usually you have to pay 12% tax. And then on some items, you do have to pay a duty fee on top of that, which you can find by going onto the Government of Canada website, and they've got a calculator. Just Google import fee calculator Canada. So usually those fees and taxes are not exorbitant. And Thomann's customer service is exemplary. Like I had a couple of minor cosmetic damages to this desk when it arrived. And I reached out to them and I said, hey, my desk arrived. It's got a bunch of cosmetic damages to it from the shipping. Obviously, I don't want to ship it back because it's a big ass desk. What can we do in this situation? They asked for some photos with some reference. Like I held a pen up to this one here. I sent them the photos and they said, we're really sorry about that. Yeah, don't bother shipping it back. Just here's a bit of store credit. I think it's like $50, which great. That's fine by me. I'm totally fine with that because I am going to buy more stuff from Thomann anyway, because most of the time I buy stuff from Thomann, no problems at all. The times that I have had problems with buying things from Thomann is when I ship it via UPS, which brings me to my next point. Don't use UPS. When you buy something from Thomann and you're importing it to Canada, choose the DHL option. I know it's $80. I know it's a flat fee, but UPS, every time I've used it, it's shown up in a box that has been torn to shreds. This thing included. I shipped this via UPS and it arrived damaged. I ordered a whole big box of like drum mics and stands and things, and the box was literally falling apart when it arrived at my doorstep. Every single time I've ordered via DHL, it's always arrived intact. I just go to the post office and I pick it up and I put it in my car and I bring it home, and it's great. Also, UPS does this really weird thing where they charge an extra fee on top of the fees that you have to pay for importing things from other countries. They call it like a brokerage fee, and they actually it's a process, and it's really annoying. They called me and said, excuse me, sir, you know, we need you to confirm that you were okay with UPS acting as your customs broker on your behalf. This does carry a fee with it and stuff like that. I'm just like, what are you talking about? I've never had to do this before. So I went through the whole process. I had to like call them back, and I had to like get a confirmation number from somewhere and get it to a person, all this stuff. I ended up paying like $25 for a brokerage fee. You don't have to pay that when you ship it via DHL. You just pay the import fees and taxes. So that's BS. So those two things are bad enough. The fact that everything I've ordered via UPS has been damaged, and the brokerage fee on top of the other fees. But also, someone at UPS stole my info and tried to scam me with it. UPS actually sent out a letter explaining that they were aware of the situation and they were cracking down on it. So like, it's not their fault that this is happening, but they are still associated with it. And just on top of the other things that made it worse. Like, I actually got a text message saying my full name and my address to my phone number, telling me that my UPS package was being delayed unless I paid a nominal fee, and I had to send it to this email address or something like. And I had to like go to this website and pay the fee. And I was like, that seems weird. And then I checked the number, and it wasn't a UPS number, but like, it was a really convincing scam, because whoever it was probably just took a picture of the shipping label on my box and then just went, all right, let's text this guy. Let's get like $20 out of this guy, right? So again, obviously UPS is not to blame for that. But on top of the whole thing with the packages being busted and the brokerage fees, I cannot recommend using UPS to ship from Thomann to Canada. Would I recommend buying this desk though? If you are Canadian and you're looking for a desk, yes. A comparable desk in Canada is going to cost you several $100s more than this. And this is a good ass desk. I never realized until I got this how inefficient my process actually was without it. Like, honestly, just being able to have a little slide out keyboard tray with everything all plugged in there, and having like a couple of things plugged in the back to route a guitar and stuff, means that like with this desk, if I just want to write something, I can sit down and write, and there's no barriers in the way. And there's lots of space for rack gear or whatever crap that I want to put on a desk there. I have a lot of crap, so that works for me. It's great, honestly. I would recommend it to anyone if you have the need for something that's got rack space, or for an 88 key keyboard, and you got the budget for it. Honestly, you're not going to find a desk with space for an 88 key keyboard and 9 units of rack space for cheaper than this. I looked, not in Canada anyway. And it is really kind of sad that Canadian retailers have legitimate competition from a company that isn't even in Canada. Ordering this desk from the EU and shipping it with import fees and all that crap, and it's still cheaper than the alternative of buying it here. That's sad. I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if it can be fixed. But what it does mean is that I tend to buy a lot of stuff off of Thomann. There's a lot of stuff that you can get on Thomann that you can't buy in Canada. Stuff like the Harley Benton series of effects and guitars and amps and all that other stuff. Like, that stuff's fun. I intend to buy more of that. And just things that for whatever reason we don't carry in Canada, like the Behringer gear you can't really get in Canada anymore. And the only thing you really need to keep in mind is, okay, is this going to work with the voltage in my country? Do I need to get like an adapter for the plug or something like that? Most stuff that has IEC cables or computer cables, you don't have to worry about. It'll say on the back like 100 to 240 volts, 50 to 60 hertz. And those ones you can import like no problem. no problem at all. But just check that out when you're buying that. Be aware that the voltage requirements may be different on the piece of kit that you're looking at. And also be aware of the shipping cost. Thomann will give you an estimate in your checkout based on where you're located on how much everything's going to cost, and they'll show you what the shipping cost is. And you just take that final number, you plug it into the Canada import fees and taxes calculator, and it'll tell you how much more money you're going to be paying on it. Then you ship it via DHL, and that's what you're going to be paying for it. And great, wash your hands of it. If it turns out to be more expensive than buying it in Canada, then just buy it in Canada. I mean, that's just common sense. But like what I like to do is me and a couple other musician friends, if we have a whole bunch of things that we want to get from Thomann, we just put it all into one order and then we split the shipping fees because it's a flat rate to Canada, basically. It's like $80. So if I want to get a guitar and my sister wants to get some drum things and our other guitarist wants to get a pedal, then I'm only paying like $25 in shipping, which is nothing to ship like a guitar from the EU. So yeah, this is a great little desk. It's served me so well for the last year that it's been in use. I've been using it a lot lately. I've been doing a lot of work from my desk at home. I love it. Honestly, it's great. The ultimate test now is, will it survive moving? Because I found out that I gotta move. So if you want to see if this desk survives the move into my new place, you can subscribe to the channel, and in the next video, I'm just kidding. It got here totally fine. Thank you so much for watching. More videos to come. See ya.